so that if anybody's missing tonight, hopefully we will be able to have them go back and watch the recording. So guys, as we're getting started, you're welcome to turn your cameras on. I always love to see your beautiful faces. Make sure you're writing down any questions that you have, and feel free to drop your questions in the chat below so that we are able to answer everybody's questions. So guys, the key is to make sure that we get your questions answered. All questions are good questions, absolutely. Oh, you're good, Lori. And we want to make sure that you guys do not hesitate to ask any questions, okay? So there's no such thing as a dumb question. Ask it, because if you have it, there's probably somebody else out there that has that same question as well, okay? So guys, welcome. I'm not going to go into the details of who I am. Hopefully you know who I am. If you don't, you'll figure it out later, but that doesn't matter tonight. What we're going to talk about tonight is Biz Works. So we're super, super excited to teach you guys a little bit more about Biz Works. What I will tell you about Biz Works for my business, what it did, and for our business, mine and Mike's business, is once I really started looking at Biz Works and tracking Biz Works, there has not been a cut that we've been through where we have not really utilized Biz Works to make sure that we made it happen. And the reason that we do that, guys, is not just for us, but it's for the team as well. And what I hope to instill in you guys tonight is how you can use Biz Works, not just for your business, but for your downline's business as well. Because like Jim Rohn says, if we help other people get what they want, we'll get everything that we want, right? So if we help our team get to the next level, by default, you're going to get to the next level. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. All right. Can everybody see my screen? Give me a thumbs up, somebody. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So what we're going to do here is we are going to talk about Biz Works. So you guys know my Herbalife, there's so much stuff on there. I could spend days and days and days going over it with you, but I'm not going to. I'm just simply going to focus on Biz Works tonight. So Biz Works, if you do not have Biz Works, I recommend Biz Works for anybody that is World Team and above. Okay, so obviously you can get it before, it's no problem at all, then you can start learning it. But if once you get to World Team, it's kind of silly not to have Biz Works, because you cannot get beyond World Team without a team. So you can't get to active World Team without a team of supervisors, and part of that is your business. So if you were to open up a Jersey Mike's, or you were to open up any other kind of business, you would have a structure to kind of track what your business is doing. And what Herbalife does for us is they give us that structure without us having to do it, which is fantastic. So the way Biz works is that it's $7.95 a month, or as long as you're doing 250 personally purchased volume points, meaning you're consuming 250 volume points a month, you can actually get Biz Works for free. So we should all be doing at least 250 personally purchased points anyway, so everybody on here should be getting free Biz Works. But if you're not, it's only $7.95 a month, and you're crazy if you don't have it, if you're World Team or above, because this is a great way to track your team. And I'm going to show you tonight how you can use it to kind of help your team get to the next level, to help you get to the next level. So once you log into My Herbalife, and we are going to use mine and Mike's Biz Works tonight. So obviously any numbers you guys see, please keep it to yourself. I don't know why it would matter, but just keep it to yourself. We obviously don't want to publicize all of that. But Biz Works is over here. If you come over to this left side of your screen, when you're on, you click on Biz Works. And there's a whole lot in here. So this organization tracking section here and this administrative reports, I'm really not going to go over any of that, because basically what that is, guys, is them phasing out the old Biz Works. What you really care about is up here on the top. So Biz Works Plus and Recognition and Celebrate is what you really care about. Okay, so Biz Works Plus is what we're going to go through first. I'm going to go through what I typically look at, and then I'm going to show you some other gee-whiz stuff that is fun, and you can actually use it to recognize and grow your business and stuff like that. So me personally, when we're looking at our business, I look at it a couple times a month. At least once a week I look at Biz Works, but the beginning of the month, on the 15th of the month, and the last week of the month, every single day. Okay, so every single week, I typically go in and look, usually on Sundays, right? Now, if we're getting close to cuts, or we're trying to help team members get to a cut, I'm obviously going to look at it more often. But what I want to do is I look at two things mainly. I look at our supervisor volume plus and our non-supervisor volume plus. Those are the two that I mainly look at, okay? So we're going to talk about those. We're going to talk about our linear view plus, and then we're going to talk about our downline trends, and then requalification. I'm going to talk about that briefly just so you guys understand for next year. We kind of missed the ball on that this year, so if you didn't have supervisors who qualify, if you're new to Herbalife, what that means is when you hit supervisor, you have a minimum of 12 months to requalify as supervisor to keep that. There's several different ways to requalify, and there's a difference between requalifying and requalifying to keep your supervisors under you. And so that's something that's real important to know as well. Again, guys, those of you that are just joining us, as you have questions, drop them in the comments. Mike's actually tracking that for us to make sure we answer those. And we want to make sure everybody's questions get answered throughout all this. All right, so I'm going to show you first our Downline Trends Plus so that you can kind of see what that looks like. So we'll click on it, and hopefully our internet is going to work perfectly. Okay. So what this does is every single report Herbalife has, up here at the top, you have an option to change some stuff around, okay? So you have your ID number here. If you're somebody that's, say, a tab team member, you might be looking at some of your downline, right? So you can search for a distributor. If you click on that, you can put the distributor's name in. I'm gonna put Meg because I see her beautiful face, and I'm gonna search. So it shows me Meg Ryan. So if I wanted to pull up her information, I could highlight her ID number and paste it into here so that I can look at her information. So the way that works for anybody that's a tab team member, you can see your team under you as long as they are not collecting the same royalty. What that means is, not the same royalty, the same bonus. What that means is, so for instance, we are Mill 7.5. Amanda East is Millionaire Team. So there's a 2% bonus for Millionaire, but no bonus for Millionaire 7.5. But then once you hit Pres, there's an additional 2% bonus on top of that. Right now, I cannot see everybody that's underneath Amanda. I can only see the people underneath Amanda that Mike and I actually collect bonus off of. Brad and Kelly are President's Team. They're collecting a President's Team bonus, so they should be able to see the whole organization in their reports. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if it doesn't, if you're a tab team member. If you're not a tab team member, it won't really matter until you get there. You should be able to see your whole organization. All right, always at the top, you're able to look at your first 3 levels, and you're usually able to go all the way down to 6 levels and sometimes even further than 6 levels. What this Downline Trends report is showing you is based off of your last 4 months. So the current month and the last 3 months, it kind of shows you your personal volume summary. So where you're trending with that. And then it shows you your supervisor volume summary. So these are your supervisors in your front 3 levels, unless you've changed it up at the top. I keep pointing at my screen with my finger like you guys can see it. All right, so supervisor volume summary. And then as you scroll down, you'll see your supervisor totals. This is how many supervisors you have. And then see how it has the different colors? That'll show you how many in your front 3 levels. Typically, what's going to happen is your 3rd level is usually bigger than your 1st level. Ideally, it would be fantastic if your 1st level was bigger, because that means you're frontlining, like Susan Peterson tells us to do. Your distributor totals in your front 3 levels, and then your preferred member totals. Okay, so this just kind of gives you a snapshot of the growth that's happening, right? So you can kind of see where that's going. All right, so we're going to come back over here to Biz Works, and then we're going to go down to our supervisor volume. We'll go there first. I usually look at supervisor volume first, and then I look at non-supervisor. Hey guys, I don't know if people are getting kicked off or what, but welcome back or welcome to the call. Make sure if you're having questions, you're putting them in the chat. Okay. Actually, let me show you Linear View Plus first. So Linear View Plus, again, is just a big, all-encompassing, kind of big look at what you're doing. So Linear View, same thing here. You can change your ID number if you need to. Front 3 levels, front 6, or you can actually do all. So depending on how big your organization is, if you do all, it will download to a like an Excel. I like to do that because then I can manipulate the Excel spreadsheet. If that's not something you're familiar with, we can talk about that at a later date too. What's cool on this is you can change it from your preferred members. You know, you can basically pick what qualification you're looking for. So if you're only looking for distributors and above, you can click that. You can get information from your preferred members all the way up to your founders circle. So I'm really excited for the day we get to track all the way up to our founder circles under us.
Can you do an example?
Yep. Yep. So we're going to look at bronze preferred members all the way up to founder circle, and we're going to look at current month. Okay. So you can change if you want to do a custom range, you can do that. What this does is it pulls up a whole lot of information. So we'll start up here. This is your downline that's contributed to your personal volume. Let's actually look at last month because I'll have more information on that. So last month, again, this is what ours looks like. So when you go into yours, it's going to look differently. So your downline contributing to your personal volume. So what that means, guys, if you're new, say like our target for Mike and I is that we want 2,500 or 5,000 documented volume points a month coming from our distributors in our front 3 levels or in our front line that are not just actually supervisors. So it might be preferred members, it might be distributors that are at 25, 35, 42%, but our target is 5,000 for that. So anything that's blue on any of these screens, you can actually click on the blue and it'll take you to another screen or a screen down here that shows you more information. Okay. So you've got this downline contributing to your personal volume. You have distributors documented volume. And then you have, and what this shows here, guys, is we have 44, this was last month, with greater than 65% documented. We have 10 that were less than 65% documented. And then we actually have 26 people in our front 3 lines that had 0 documented volume. And I'm going to show you in just a second a way that you can look at this and what you should do with them, right? So we know that if we have somebody that's a distributor, we want their volume to be documented, right? So if I have somebody that's got 0s, I should probably be trying to convert them to a preferred member, right? Because we want them to be able to count as documented volume. Eligible for royalties, we have 16. So what that means, guys, is as you progress in the business, your royalties are 5%, up to 5%. So the reason we train on 2,500 documented volume points is because that gives you your full 5%. So what that means is we have 16 distributors last month in our front 3 levels that earn that full 5% of royalties. And then it breaks it down. We also have 18 distributors that earned 0 royalty that were eligible to earn royalties. So what that means is there's an opportunity there that we can look at those individuals and go, hey, Sally, you've got distributors under you. You could be making some money here. Let's help teach you how to get to 2,500 volume points so you can earn that 5%. Same kind of conversation with these here too. I'm not going to click on these individuals just so, because you guys probably know some of them, but all you would have to do is click on the blue, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and it'll show you who it is. That way you can have those conversations with those individuals. All right, personal consumption. This is super important, guys. This I will click on. So personal consumption is something that we as distributors, especially as leaders, need to make sure that we're doing. So a lot of times, you know, we get paid off of documented volume, but personal consumption is so important. We should be having a minimum of 20% personal consumption in our organization. And guys, the reason it's so important is 1, because of the FTC law that they imposed on us. We've got to have a certain amount of personal consumption, but 2, it actually helps with, so you don't get paid on your own personal consumption, but you will get paid on your team's personal consumption. So it's really important to make sure that we're sharing that and making sure, like, obviously we can't sell something we're not consuming. So you want to go in here, you want to press on the personal consumption, and then you want to take a look at who in your organization does not have any personal consumption. And then you're going to reach out to them and you're going to be like, hey, you know, make sure they understand why they should be ordering as personal consumption, some of it, and then make sure you're having that conversation with them. All right, questions yet?
Nope.
Okay, perfect. All right, comparing your documented percentage. This is my personal versus my org. And this is just over the last, actually, that was last month. Okay, and so our org average is at 95% personal consumption. Yeah. it's good. It should be actually a little bit lower. And the reason for that is we should have more personal consumption volume there. All right.
Oh,
Yeah. So
looking at it backwards.
what's really cool about this, guys, too, especially if you're a tab team member watching this, this bottom right-hand corner, this is really cool. So you can log in here. And again, we're in the linear view. It will show you your top 10 performers for the month. So, you know, we do the recognition call. This is how we view it, right? So I'll go in, I'll hit the top 10. Again, this is for last month. This gives us our top 10 producers for the month of January. You can see your top 25, top 50, top 100 performers for the month. So what's really neat about that is it's a really good way to track and recognize people. Just keep in mind, if somebody under you is collecting the same bonus, you will not be able to see everybody. So there could potentially be, so there's a lot of communication between the tab team before we do that recognition call to make sure we're not missing anybody. But the other good thing to know about that too, guys, is if any of the tab teams recognizing on Facebook or any kind of social media chats and your name's not on there and you're like, I should be on there, it could be because they can't see you. Okay. So any questions?
Not yet.
Good. All right. So that was our linear view plus. I like that because it's a big snapshot. Let's go into our supervisor volume plus. So this is going to be any of your supervisors. So 50% or higher. I love looking at the supervisor volume. So as you get close to active world team, or as you get close to global expansion team or global expansion team 2.5, this is going to be a screen that you really want to make sure you're looking at. The reason for that is because if you scroll down, this number right here, that's the number that you're going to be looking for to get to whatever next level it is for you. But here's something really important to know too, guys. Whatever you're going for, so let's say global expansion team. Is there anybody on here that wants to get to global expansion team? Nobody? Okay, I see one. All right, so whatever level you're going to, right? Let's say global expansion team. You need 20,000 documented volume points, right, for global expansion team. But we have something that's called uplift, right? So uplift is actually 1.22%. The reason this is important is because as you're looking at this number right here, what you need here is not 20,000. This is going to be the documented volume in your front three levels that I'm drawing a circle around right now. But what you're looking for, so like if you are going for global expansion team, you would actually be looking for 16,500 right here. Because if you take 16,500 and you multiply that by 1.22, that's going to give you more than 20,000 documented volume points. I don't know the exact number, but it's more than 20,000. So 16.5 is what you're looking for if you're going for global expansion team right here. So that's really important to know so that when you're tracking, and then let's see, you can change that to 6 levels, or you can change it to all levels. But again, even though I changed it to 6 levels, see how this number right here doesn't change? What's really good about that is you really want to just look at that number, because if you look over here, you'll see the total documented volume in 6 levels is higher than this number, but that's not what we need to get to our cut, because your front 3 levels is what counts. Now there is something called roll up, but I don't recommend looking at that. Just look at this number here, try to get this number to whatever it is that you're looking for the next level. Questions? All right. So let's see. You can also.
Yeah, somebody said, looks like press cut.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We're on the way, guys. Super close. All right, guys. So is there anybody that is willing to let me pull up their numbers to kind of show? Let me see. Anybody? All right. No worries. If you're cool with me pulling up your numbers, go ahead and drop it in the chat so Mike can tell me. That way I can kind of show you guys off of somebody's numbers. But I don't, who is that? Kimmy. All right. So Kimmy, we'll use you here in just a second. If there's a tab team member that's willing to, let me know. Okay, perfect. All right, let's see. So supervisors, okay. Supervisors close to active world team. This right here. what's cool about this is you can click on the blue and it'll show you. What you can also do is see this little gear looking thing. I don't know what that's called.
We'll call it an asterisk.
Is that what it's called?
No, we can call it that.
Okay, we're going to call it an asterisk. This thing right here. If you click on that, you can change the parameters of what you're looking for. Okay, so right now it automatically defaults to 300. Active World Team, we know we need 2,500 4 months in a row. We need 5,000 royalty points. No.
5,000 1 month and then 500 royalty.
Yes, 500 royalty, 5,000 1 month. So you can actually change those parameters here. So if you want to go higher, where they're closer to achieving it, royalty points, and then you just click on the thing. So there's still only one individual that is close. If you go to 4,000 and then let's say 3 months here, still one. Okay, so awesome. Thank you, Lori. All right, so you can pull up any of those individuals there to kind of see who's close to Active World Team. Really not anybody to talk about much there right now. All right, the other thing that you care about on this screen is this is new supervisors. This is in the current month, okay? So the way that this works is the new supervisor that you're gonna see here is who qualified last month, because we know we have to wait till the 8th of the month to see audited volume. So when you click on that, it'll show you that Brandy in our front 3 lines qualified supervisor last month, which is awesome. So she's fully qualified this month. But what's really neat, and I'm gonna show you in the non-supervisor in just a second, is we can see who's getting close, right? So that you can help reach out to them. And then our supervisors with 2,500 total documented volume points or more, that means these individuals that we have 8 in our front 3 lines that are already collecting the full 5%. Okay. All right. Jackie's rocking out. All right, so I'm gonna go back over here to kind of reset everything. We're gonna give it just 1 second. I'm gonna make sure my ID is up here, and then I'm gonna go 6 levels deep because Lori Smith said we could use her. So Lori, I think you are actually in our 5th level. So see how I'm clicking on the blue? Anything that's blue you can click on and it'll pull up something else. So I can go to Lori Smith here, and you can see who their sponsor is, which is cool. You can actually see the visible downline. So Lori has 16 visible downline that we can see. We see what her total volume is right now, her total documented volume, and then you would be able to see potential. So all this means is potential over here. That means what she has in her reserves that's not been documented yet. So sometimes, and this was a conversation I was having earlier, sometimes we have like pending receipts. All that means is if you have a pending receipt based off of inventory, it just means that you haven't ordered yet to cover that pending receipt. So for instance, we're getting ready to order, place an order because we have about 1,600 volume points that are pending. And that just means that when we switched over to the documenting piece, we had inventory on hand. So we've been kind of playing catch up with that. All right, so I'm gonna click on Lori. What's cool about that, when you click on her, what you can see is it pulls up all of her information. It gives you her ID number, her address, her phone number, her email, the application date. So this is the date that she actually got started with Herbalife, her birth date, her level in the marketing plan, who her sponsor is, and her sponsor's ID, right? I'm gonna highlight her ID number, and then I'm gonna copy it. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to put her ID number in there.
How'd you copy it?
So depending on what kind of computer you have, Mike asked how'd you copy it. So depending on what kind of computer you have, if you have a Mac or an Apple, it's Control-C to copy, Control-V to paste. If you have a other computer, not an Apple or a Mac, you can right-click and copy and paste. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right, so I've placed Lori's ID number here. I'm gonna hit run. And now what it's doing is it's running Lori's numbers. So what's really cool about this, guys, is you can look at your team. And what I really, really encourage you to do, especially if you're a tab team or active world team, you want to start looking at the people under you so that you can help them see where that next level is and see who they have that is really working to get to that next level. All right, so Lori right now is, we're going to click on her blue because that's who she's got. Right now, her frontline supervisors are Miss Kim Charles and Miss Linda Armstrong. Okay, so Linda, this is a really good example here. So total volume, this is what Linda has in inventory, and this is what she's documented so far. What this total volume, though, can be a little misleading because this may not be what she has in inventory. It could be a preferred member that ordered that's under her. It could be a distributor that's under her that ordered personally purchased, or even ordered stuff for inventory as well. Good? Yes? Okay, so now we're going to go over to what is probably the most important for everybody that's on this call, is the non-supervisor volume plus. This is really where you guys want to start looking, and this is what really will make the difference for cuts. This will be the difference to help you get to the next level. So once you're here, this is back to my ID. So if I'm still trying to look for somebody below, I'm going to go and show you in just a second. You would have to put their ID number back in here. I'm going to look at the front 3 levels right now. I'm going to look at all distributors and preferred members, and I'm going to look at the current month, right? The reason I want to look at the current month is because we're working in February, so I want to know who I need to be reaching out to. All right, this is what I look at, is these 3 right here. So immediately the way Herbalife defaults it is people within 500 volume points of supervisor, people within 400 volume points of qualified producer, and people within 100 volume points of senior consultant. I always change this, guys, because we know, right? We know that we can get people, if we help them, they can get enough clients to, I changed supervisor to 1,000. Anybody within 1,000 volume points is what I change it to. And you'll see that we have 4 in our front 3 levels. So anything that's blue, you can click on. I click on that. And then what I do is I scroll down. So this is where you can see, okay? So you'll see who it is that's close to the next level. You'll see who their sponsor is. It shows you who their upline tab team member is. So tab team, when I send you all these messages towards the end of the month, this is where I'm getting it from. And then it'll show you the volume that's required. This is what I look at here, guys. So for instance, Meg, you've got Jessica Morrison. So Meg is the sponsor, and Meg is also the upline tab team. Volume required is only 442.71 volume points to hit supervisor. So guys, what's really important about this is if you have people in your downline, you want to look at this and you want to let them know. So for instance, Amanda has Nita. She's the sponsor. Her distributor that's under her is Nicole Lewis. So Amanda would want to let Nita know that Nicole Lewis is only 890 volume points away. Now, what's important about this, guys, is we don't just go, hey, Nicole, you're only 890 volume points away from supervisor. Good luck, right? No, we go, hey, Nita, let's show Nicole how she can get 4 to 8 new clients to help her get to supervisor, right?
Be a shake party or whatever.
Yep, shake party, in service, whatever it is. So it's a really good teaching tool. And Amanda talked about that last night too, the tell, show, try, do. Make sure that you're doing that with the team. So Jackie has Carolyn Lewis under her, only 816 volume points away. So Jackie, what we'll do is we want to start figuring out how we can get Carolyn to supervisor. It's 4 to 8 new clients. So 4 clients that do 200 volume points or 8 clients that do 100. Right? So very, very doable. Carrie, you've got Brittany under you, only 448. Okay. So that's how you look at that. So I always look at supervisors. I usually do the front. I actually do all 6 levels is what I typically do, which is why you guys get a bunch of messages from me. All right. And then qualified producer. I always look at 600 volume points here. Again, you can do whatever it works for you, but I feel like 600 is very attainable. So we've got Tamika Rice under Abby Carey, who is only 475 volume points from qualified producer. So what we do is we reach out and let them know. We reach out and let them know that we're here to help them do that, but we don't force anybody to do it. We're not like pressuring anybody to do it. But literally, guys, I have seen people that have missed supervisor by like 15 volume points because people didn't know how to look at Biz Works. So it's very, very important to understand that. Senior consultant, what I do is I look at 250. So we've got 3 people there, and it'll show you again, volume required, what they currently have, and then who their sponsor is and who their upline tab team member is. Good. Any questions on that?
Nope. Good so far.
Perfect. All right. So this here is distributors with more than 50% documented volume, which is good to know. But there's not a whole lot you need to do with that. And then it shows how many new distributors there are in your organization and your whatever you have picked. So right now in our front 6, this is the next thing that you want to look at. This is if you're somebody who is, say you're a supervisor or you're a world team member and you're trying to increase your own personal volume or help somebody else increase their personal volume. Not only will that up here, the senior consultant, qualified producer, and supervisor help, but this will help as well. So preferred members within 100 documented volume points of silver and preferred members within 500 documented volume points of gold. So guys, how many of us get people registered, right, as a preferred member, and we get them ordering, but we don't know how close they are to the next level? This is really important. So our front 6 level, there's 30 people that are within 100 documented volume points of the next level. We've got one, this first one, Holly Fuller, is only 2.3 volume points away from her next level, right? So this is really important. We've got Katie under Carrie is only 6 volume points away. And then this will line it up for you guys. This is the same one too. I usually increase this to 150 or 200 so that I can reach out to these individuals and let them know how close they are to the next level. So Jay is only 36 volume points away from silver level. Good. I'm looking at Mike because that is his client he's going to reach out to. All right. So that's this one. And then your preferred members that are close to gold. Again, anything blue you can click on. All right. Same thing here. So this percentage, guys, is huge. And this is, hopefully you're telling your preferred members that as they're ordering, they're watching the little bar on the side. But this is a way that you can reach out to them too, because it's generally almost a 10% increase in savings for them, right? So they're more than going to pay for that difference. So you want to make sure you're reaching out to these individuals. And then what happens, guys, is what you'll see is if you go through and add up this volume, I mean, just at a glance, this is probably 5,000 volume points right here, just out of these individuals. So as you start adding those numbers up, that all counts and that all helps you get to the next level. It helps them get to the next level as well.
They buy more.
They do buy more because they're saving more money. So these are your new preferred members. And then your preferred member activity. So these are people that are doing more than 200 volume points. This is also something that you can look at, people that are doing large numbers. For instance, you got Susan here who's doing more than 500 volume points just in February, and that's a preferred member. But this is a silver preferred member. This is somebody that I would probably reach out to figure out, are they really consuming 571 volume points, or is this somebody that's kind of buying for friends that could potentially be a distributor? Make sense? Questions?
Nope, so good.
All right. Perfect. So guys, seriously, if you guys have questions for any of this, let us know. That is something that I always look at. The other thing, and I said I was going to come to this in a minute, but see over here on the side where it says candidates for preferred member. If you click on that, it's going to bring you into this. Yay. All right. So we're going to do front 3. This here where it says report view is just how you want to view it. Web means on the screen, or you can export it to an Excel or a PDF. And if you hit run report, you can scroll down here guys to see, because this could be a game changer for your business. If you look at this, so we have 11 in our front level, we have 40 in our second level, and 43 in our third level. This is distributors that are really not producing. They're not documenting volume. So these are candidates that we should reach out to and be like, hey, you know, are you really still interested in selling the product? If not, we have a great program. It's called Preferred Member, and explain the benefits of that to them. Because then if they convert to Preferred Member, imagine the volume difference there that you would see. Let's see. So out of our 11 members, their average volume is 6.83. And then on the second level, out of those 40, their average volume is 8.26. So you see where this volume would be much better if it was documented. They're obviously not working the business. So these are people that we would want to reach out to. So that's 94 distributors in our front 3 levels that we could be reaching out to, going, hey, you know, we just want to make sure you're working the business. Excuse me. If you're not, no worries. We want to convert you over to Preferred Member. If you scroll down here, you'll see all of this volume. This is all volume that could be documented that's not being documented right now. So that is definitely stuff that we want to look at, and a bunch of zeros as well. Good. So 5,000 volume points out of 94 distributors. So that was Biz Works candidates for Preferred Member. Good. Questions on that?
Nope.
All right.
That's a good crowd.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're taking notes.
Good.
They
All right. Questions. All right. So before I move on from BizWorks Plus, those are the things that I typically look at. Is there anything you guys were thinking? Because the next thing I'm going to talk about is recognizing and celebrating people. So as far as looking at numbers, let me go back and to the non-supervisor. And let's look at Lori's. So I've just put her, I had her ID saved, so I just pasted it in there. So Lori, we're going to look at yours. These are, so you have a bronze preferred member here. Let's run. All right, so I'm going to change some of these parameters so I can see who she's got that's close to the next level. Let's see. Oop. All right, so Lori, what this is showing me is, since we don't have anybody close to senior consultant, qualified producer, or supervisor, is she's got a bunch of preferred members here. So, which is awesome because that's volume that's automatically going to be documented. And you can see here where it says team level, what these are. So the BPM is bronze preferred member, silver preferred member, or gold preferred member. And then here is qualified producer. So on her front level, she's got a qualified producer. So Skylar is who we would want to see, who is close to the next level. And then she has, let's see, those are, the rest are preferred members. All right. So Lori, what that means is you get to recruit is what that means. Because you've got a bunch of preferred members, but we need to get some new distributors in your front 3 lines that we can start working towards supervisor. Okay. And then let's see, who else said Kim? Is that who said?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna pull up maybe. All right, so we're gonna put Kimmy in here and look at her. So Kimmy, we've got right away one that's within 800 of qualified producer. So you've got Mary Toe that's within 636 volume points. If I'm sending information out to distributors, see how this says 636? I would say 637. So you're within 637 volume points of qualified producer, and I would start working with her on how she can get those 3 to 7 clients to get her to that next level. And then let's see, same kind of thing here, Kimmy. Let's see. Let me pull that up. So yeah, Same thing here. You've got a great opportunity to start recruiting frontline to get more people to work with to get to supervisor, which is awesome. I would start pulling up any preferred members that you have. This is what I would be looking at. Okay, guys.
Yeah,
So
look for preferred members that are referring people to you. That's great. That's a great way to find distributors.
Yep, perfect. All right, so we talked about all of this. That's the main stuff I use under the Biz Works Plus section. Now, the other stuff that I really use is this recognize and celebrate. So you've got lots of great information here. You've got birthdays you can click on. What's really cool about this is literally when we started Herbalife, I was trying to like keep track of all of our distributors' birthdays. It was a nightmare, seriously. But here, what you can do is in your front 3 levels, or again, you can change this to all or to your first 6. You can run for the whole month. I can run a report. And it's going to show me everybody that has a birthday this month. Okay. What's really cool about this, guys, is you can actually click on it. So Courtney has had a birthday on February 3rd. Okay. You can click on it. And when you're in here, anytime you click on any distributor's name over here on the side, you're going to see send an email, send an e-card, schedule a follow-up, add to your address book, or view downline summary. These are all really, really, really important things, right? So if I wanted to send Courtney an email, I could click here. It's automatically going to send me into an email format. I can click on send an e-card. I'm going to click on that. And what's really cool about that is Herbalife has a bunch of pre-done cards, right? So if we wanted to say happy birthday to Courtney, we would click on it, right? If we wanted to, we would hit send the card. Courtney, happy belated birthday. All right, so.
Is she on?
I don't know. She's gonna get an e-card from us though. Happy birthday. So this is what the cover of it's gonna look like, and then you can put whatever message you want in here, okay? And then you can actually put your URL, you can put your phone number, and then what's really cool about this too is see down here, obviously you would not wanna do this for birthdays, you would not wanna do this for anything that should be personal, but you can actually put up to 4,999 emails in here, okay, to send. So this is what it would look like. If you wanted to do an e-card for, let's see, the new CR7 drive when it came out, right? And you want everybody to know about it, you can hit send e-card. You can put information in there, and then you can actually add from your address book. I'm getting ready to blow your all's mind. You ready? Mike's gonna be floored. So we have pages and pages and pages of address books, right? These are all, it'll show you over here on the side, these are all leads, these are customers. Leads, guys, if you're a tab team member and you don't know this already, I'm gonna blow your mind. You actually, once you get to global expansion team, the corporate starts sending you leads. So you actually get leads. If you don't know how to find them, I'm gonna show you in here how to make sure you know where they're at. But what you can do is you can go through and select whoever it is that you want. You can actually narrow it down. You can put names that start with A. You can search any way you want to, and then you select them and then hit add selected. Am I making you dizzy?
Did you just send that?
Not yet. See how it adds all of these in here?
Yes.
Then you're good. And then you could hit next. You would hit next and send it. I'm not going to send it to these random people.
Let's do it.
But questions on that?
No, everybody's good so far.
You guys are awesome. All right.
Getting some comments.
Yeah. And then any bad comments?
No.
Okay.
Good.
So Herbalife anniversaries. This is another big one, guys. So as people are hitting their anniversaries in Herbalife, it's really good to recognize them. Let them know this is stuff that other businesses do not do. This is stuff that sets us apart, right? So you can go in, you can run a report for anybody that's going to have an anniversary. Okay. If you want to do it for several months, you could actually click on here and change the date. So there's all kinds of different things you can change in this. But then when you scroll down, you'll see everybody that has an anniversary in February, and it'll show you how long they've been in the business. Okay, so that's really cool as well. And then let's see, level changes. This is also important. As your organization grows, it will be more difficult to know who's changing levels, but you can come here and you can look. So this shows you right here, it says team level. That's what they are currently on. This is what they went from and to, okay? So this is, and actually this is a good example. So I said I was gonna talk about requalification. So when you hit supervisor, like I said, you have a minimum of 12 months, but say you hit supervisor in, I don't know, March, right? In March, you have 12 months, well, 13 months to requalify, right? So these are individuals, so supervisor to qualified producer, that's going down. These are people that did not requalify supervisor. They did not do what they needed to do to requalify supervisor. So that's a good way to go through and see who didn't. And then you got qualifying supervisor to supervisor. So that was Brandy, who we saw earlier. Let's see, supervisor, blah, 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 distributor to senior consultant to qualified producer. So these are, let's send Carolyn Lewis, let's send her a little e-card congratulating her, right? So I'm going to click on the e-card. I'm going to say senior to qualified producer. I'm going to say congratulations on hitting qualified producer, right? Sorry, I can't type and talk at the same time. All right, so then I would just do, so it's got her address in there, our address. I'm gonna hit next so we can show you what it looks like. Next. And then, oh, subjects required. Congrats. So what's really cool about that, guys, is as you have people that are hitting different levels, this shows you. So this is what she'll get. She'll get something that says, congratulations, qualified producer from us. And then I'm going to send it. You can obviously go back. You can schedule an e-card. So if you have, like, say the first Sunday of the month, you're like scheduling your stuff out for the month, you could go ahead and set up all of your e-cards for all of the birthdays and all of the anniversaries. That's all done, right? Which is awesome. All right, so then pin level change, new applicants. New applicants are people that, let's see, so like you can do January to now, and we'll run the report. New applicants are any new preferred members or any, actually we're looking at distributors here. So these are the new distributors in the last month, right? It shows you the individual, their sponsor's name, and their first line upline tab team member, which is really cool. So what's neat about this too is, let's say you have an organization where somebody under you isn't really working the business anymore, right? So let's say it's me and Mike, and then we have Sally under us, and she kind of quit working the business, but she has somebody under her that is working the business. We need to reach out to that individual to make sure that she's getting the support that she needs. So this is a great way to find out about that as well. And then new qualified producers and newly qualified supervisors. That's all very self-explanatory.
You were going to show how to find leads for tab team.
Yes. All right. So I'm pretty sure that's in linear view. Any other questions?
But repeat what I said.
All right, guys. So actually, I'm going to show them real quick. Let me show you under the so Biz Works, we're going to go into Biz Works supervisor volume. The other thing that I'm going to show you here that you want to look at is, let's see, I'm going to click on, let's click on our second level. This is something that's really cool to look at too. So as you look at, these are the individuals, right? This is their team level right here in the middle, their upline tab team. Here shows you their visible downline. So these are the downline you can see under it. So you can scroll down and really see who it is that has a big downline. And let's say you have somebody that has a pretty big downline of people. but they're not hitting their 2,500. These are individuals you'd want to reach out to. And you'd want to be like, hey guys, really wanted to talk to you about making sure that you're getting your full 5%. How can I help you get to your next level, the 2,500 or world team or active supervisor, wherever it's at. But it's a great way to kind of help you look at that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? Let me see. Yeah, I think that was pretty much it.
Yeah. Just gonna get on and play around.
Yeah, that's really the key, guys, is really just playing around with it. So I'm going to open it up. If anybody wants to unmute themselves and ask any questions before we get off here. The key, guys, is really that there's just so much that you can play around with. Really just go in there and look at it, but at least commit to yourself to looking at it several times a month so that you can follow up. Like I said, I always do it right at the beginning of the month. I usually do it Sunday before the week. So like Sunday's my day to get ready for the week. I always do it on the 15th of the month and usually every single day the last week of the month. And that's so that I can go in. You don't want to get consumed with it, but you definitely want to be able to go in and look at it. Any other questions before we get off here tonight?
This is a great class.
Yeah, good. So guys, seriously, as we go forward, if there's other things you guys want to learn more about, let us know. The tab team wants to make sure we help you guys any way we can. Hopefully this was helpful.
Very helpful, very helpful.
Good. All right, guys.
And it is recorded. So guys, we're going to end up posting that so you can go back and watch it. I guess it'll be on Gold Focused.
It'll be on Goal Focused, and we'll let your tab team know as soon as I get it uploaded, but it'll be sometime tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back and look at it again, because sometimes you got to see it once or twice to let it sink in.
And seriously, don't hesitate to reach out if you guys have questions, because it can be it's just a lot, right? And I was not a numbers person before Herbalife. So literally just spending some time on there is important.
And I will tell you one thing. So we saw real quick, and then we'll end the call, guys, but we saw Garen Jones several years back when we were in Beverly Hills at one of the Future Press Team retreats, and he was on stage. We'd never heard of him before. And they had him up there. I think he was Get Team at the time, and they put him on stage. He had qualified because he had to cut a meal, so he qualified, and they put him on stage when usually you only have Press Team, Chairman's Club, Founder Circles on stage at that event. And they put him on there because they were talking about Biz Works and how he utilized Biz Works more than anybody else
In the company.
in the whole company. And it's because he really focused on paying attention exactly where all of his team is. He could see trends to where he saw somebody that might have been fourth line down that was doing really good, and then all of a sudden they kind of fell off for 3 or 4 months. And he would see those trends so he could reach out and help them get them back on track, stuff like that. But he utilized it so much, and now he's like 40K or something press team, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So if you can kind of master a few of these things on here, I think it's going to really help you explode and build your team and their confidence as well as they go.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thank you for jumping on tonight. Let us know what else we can help you learn, and we hope you guys have a great night. Can't wait to see most of you at the STS this weekend.
I got some.
Bye. Woo!
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.